I would like to begin by acknowledging that I am participating in this event from the traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples, and in particular the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. For those attending this session, I also want to acknowledge the Indigenous territories and lands on which you are living and working. Welcome to the fourth episode of the Future Builders series. I'm Jill Schnarr, Chief Communications Officer at Telus and your host. At Telus, we are passionate about the intersection of social purpose and world-leading technology to drive change and enable remarkable human outcomes. And this is what this series with Elevate is all about. We are all making the future friendly together. Today, 1 in 5 Canadians has a smart device, devices that are connected to other devices or networks in their homes. Smart devices allow us to customize our experiences, meaning we can do things like tailor what lights are on or off, what color they are, see who's at the door, and manage the temperature. Ultimately, smart homes make our homes safe and secure, energy efficient, and even more enjoyable to be in. Creating a personalized home ecosystem with intuitive, interconnected technology should feel seamless, simple, and smart. Joining me today, we have Zainal Mawji, President of Home Solutions at Telus, who spearheads the design and delivery of products and services for Telus's residential, security, automation, and consumer health lines of business. Her expertise in scaling new technology has been foundational to how she champions her team to drive innovative experiences and solutions focused on improving the lives of Canadians. Over almost 2 decades at Telus, Zainal has certainly seen it all. And throughout it all, she's been passionate about deploying new technology to achieve economic diversity and improved social outcomes. Welcome, Zainal. So, to get us started, congratulations on winning the Trailblazer Award for Women in Communications and Technology. What inspired your passion for technology?
Thanks so much, Jill. I'm just thrilled to be here today. Regarding that award, first I'd have to say that isn't it amazing when we achieve something due to the outstanding accomplishments really of our teams and those that we have this opportunity to lead. In terms of what really inspired my passion for technology, it wasn't like I went through school as an engineer or really was a builder of technology throughout my career or my life, but I always wanted to challenge the way that we do things and make things better and make things easier and simpler and think about how to simplify our world from a perspective of using new technology. And it's also that little edge of feeling discomfort with what's in the unknown in technology and trying to navigate it and find out the right great outcomes from a business and customer standpoint that has really fueled my career.
That's amazing. You certainly do challenge us all, and you make us all better at Telus. So the next part of the interview is about our homes. Our homes have expanded to become our offices, classrooms, and so much more over the last year. Fueled by new technology, the smart home, once again seen in the movies, is finally becoming a reality. A growing number of Canadian homes are connected, and 1/3 of Canadians intend to purchase a smart home device in the next 12 months. There's an intersection between technology and human connection that has never been clearer than it is today. Can you tell me what this means for Canadians and what your team is doing to support bringing that intersection to life?
Absolutely. I think we find ourselves at an incredibly exciting time. And while certainly the challenges that have been brought by this terrible pandemic that we're living through have been, have been very difficult for our entire community and for the global population, I think one of the things that has come to surface is this fast forward to a digital life and to what we can do with the technology that we have. And you mentioned, the working from home, going to school from home, all of these things that are now achievable from our homes. I think you first need to start with having this and very important and critical foundation in our network, our award-winning network, which we put so much pride into building. And that's incredibly important because it brings with it speeds, reliability, capacity, security, and privacy that are second to none globally. And once you have that foundation, then I think the opportunity is to think about how do we really build capabilities and create experiences for customers that, in my mind, achieve what I call our trifecta. And from a product standpoint, what I get really inspired by is the opportunity to look at product experiences from our customers that, as you highlighted, advance the human connection and serve a customer need in a way that a competitor or in a differentiated way that they're not going to be able to get that value somewhere else. The second thing I look for in that trifecta is how does the aggregate and the scale of that capability advance our community? And then the third thing, which is I think so important to recognize as a social capitalism organization, is that we want to be a sustainable business, a sustainable employer. So we have to be a profitable one, and we can only do that if we're creating value for our customers. And so when you look at putting those three things together, let's identify some examples of how we bring that to life. Look at digital healthcare, Babylon by Telus Health. So this is an application that anyone can download and have access to a medical professional in their province through the government-funded province-wide healthcare system that we aspire to as Canadians. And we have millions of Canadians that do not have access to a family doctor. We have millions of Canadians on a daily basis that are looking for after hours care for something that they shouldn't need to go to an emergency room for and reserve that capacity for those really high acute situations. And so when you look at this type of capability and you think about how much cost are we removing from the healthcare system to enable these digital interactions, how many of these people are getting the healthcare that they need, more so usually on a preventative than a reactive basis before something gets difficult to manage and more chronic. And then, how does that advance our community in terms of creating healthy community outcomes? And how does that create profitability for our organization and a lower tax base? So these are the types of solutions that we get really excited about in terms of leveraging that award-winning superior network to drive these human connections and outstanding differentiated experiences for our customers.
I got to tell you, I love Babylon by Telus Health. I do have my own doctor that I, would go to see, but I leverage Babylon by Telus Health for evenings and weekends, and it's just been a lifesaver, helping to answer questions and get immediate access to a doctor. And I think, when you think of, many of the Canadians during the pandemic, we've got to reduce our exposure to one another. This was such a great way to still get access to really valuable primary health care, but lower your risk of getting COVID.
Absolutely.
So
And oh, oh, sorry, Jill. Absolutely. And I was just going to tell you a personal story in that regard. As a working mom, I don't know if you've ever come across the concept of snow mold. One day I came home from work to find white dots all over my young son's tongue and thought, oh my goodness, this looks very bad. And I thought, imagine if we had an ability, to go and get a quick doctor's appointment. At the time, we didn't have the service, and I had to get to a Medi Center, wait in line, make sure that, we could see this child to ensure that there was nothing severe happening. And it happened to be an allergy that I had never heard of. So these are, experiences like, busy working moms need that opportunity to ensure that we're providing healthcare solutions for our families. And there are so many easier ways and more productive ways to do that.
Yeah, I think, a lot of people buy technology because it's convenient and they think that that's the really the best outcome, but you're saying it's much more than that. It's not just about convenience.
No, it's got to have a high quality, and it's got to have a differentiated and a superior outcome for our customers. As we've talked about with COVID, one of the other things, and another example I'd love to tell you more about is cybersecurity. I mean, look at the way that Canadians have advanced their e-commerce online and have put themselves online in during the pandemic to do all sorts of transactions and to engage, with their friends and family. And the reality is that, Canada is on the high for cybercrime, and very few Canadians are actually protected. So this is another area that we sought to resolve and have a set of very unique solutions for our customers in terms of protecting everything from their physical devices right to their dark web monitoring, and supporting their identity and making sure that if their identity does get hacked, that there is an opportunity to get that resolved with the right expertise that can help you to manage that. And so again, a solution where, if we had more Canadians that were protecting themselves online, we would be less at risk in terms of cyber attacks, and we would be a country that wouldn't be necessarily attracting those kinds of abusers, in terms of what they're looking to, what they're looking to attack. So I think there are all of these opportunities to really support our customers in new ways, and advance their capabilities through new solutions.
I think that's such a great point. I've gotten so many alerts this year alerting me that my username and password has been exposed on a particular website because, to your point, we're using all of these websites. We're buying groceries and buying everything we can from Amazon during this pandemic, that we're exposing ourselves more and more to cybercrime, and we need to understand how we protect ourselves online. So, given the pandemic, how did this last year change the landscape for your team in home solutions?
I think that one of the great things about our team at Telus is that we have so many amazing foundational capabilities that we were already doing, with respect to things like how we work. We have an amazing and outstanding, mobile work force that we have always supported and endorsed, primarily from a perspective of supporting our team members and the way in which they can achieve their best productivity. And so that pivot that we had to make to support our team working from home was certainly difficult, but I think it was much easier for our organization. So in that vein, when you are faced with something like the global pandemic and you have to start from scratch, in terms of how you're going to support your customers or support your team, then you've got a much further way to go. But because our company and our team is built on this foundation of giving back and of being a strong and supportive and giving member of our community, we had so many programs like our Internet for Good program, where we provide internet to families that may not be able to afford it, so that their children have access to knowledge and capability online, coupled with devices and coupled with digital education, as well as being safe online through things like our WISE program, as you know so well, Jill. So I mean, to take that program and have to start it from scratch at the time of a pandemic would have been, a very long exercise. But because we already had it in place, we could put it into high gear when all of our students and our customers' kids had to be online and go to school online. And so through that program, we were able to provide thousands of kids with access to online education through their school programs. And I think that our team thrives on those opportunities to support our customers in these new and unique ways. And it can extend beyond that. Even if we look at our optic service through education and entertainment, we leveraged our optic service to ensure science centers could provide programming and online camps for kids during the summer. So these are all things that we can do using the technology and the solutions that we already have and the innate focus that our team has on serving our communities.
Yeah, isn't it so cool that we can provide virtual camps to kids right through their own TV set? So they don't have to leave their home, but they can still get access to that incredible learning. And I love internet for good. And I think, this pandemic has shown us that accessibility to high speed broadband is the key to enabling everyone to stay connected and to hopefully get through and thrive through what we're going through. So it's just so important to be able to get that connectivity out to everyone. So now it's time to move on to the next segment, which is viewer questions. And actually, this question I could be asking you myself. In the lead up to today, we asked some of our viewers to submit their questions about challenges they're facing at home that could be improved with technology. So here's the first question. I've got an elderly dad that really wants to stay in his home, but I worry about him. In fact, my dad is 90 this year, and I worry about him staying in his home. Is there technology to help him stay independent and more connected with his family?
That's such a great question, Jill. And, as I'm sure has been raised, not just through the pandemic, but overall, supporting our elderly and our seniors to stay connected and ensure that, we're using technology to help them stay in their homes is just so important in terms of solutions that we provide and in terms of advancing the mental health of our entire Canadian population. But with respect to seniors specifically, we've got a great solution called Living Well Companion, which provides emergency response and is a safety mechanism for our seniors to stay in their homes longer. And it can be coupled with other capabilities like our smart home security cameras and other things, as well as our connectivity solutions in the home. Even if it's something as, meaningful to us, but even so much more meaningful to a senior like Boost Wi-Fi, which ensures that you have Wi-Fi in every corner of your home so that you're never isolated no matter where you are, even if you're in your yard. It's those kinds of things that create that incredibly meaningful experience and create that separation between being able to stay in your home longer and not. And our team really thinks about the design of our solutions through the lens of our customers, and we're learning every day through all those experiences.
That's incredible. That's so great to know that we have those devices so we can keep our, family members safe. So the second question from our viewers is about cyber crimes. And, you already brought up that they are on the rise, especially in Canada. Should we be worried about privacy on all our devices?
I think we absolutely have to be. That's why this suite of solutions we provide is so critical. And one of the things that we recognized when we started to embark down this line of products, Jill, was that we had a lot of work to do in terms of educating our customers on the threats that they may be susceptible to. And we actually looked at the level of awareness and knowledge of cybercrime relative to the United States. And it is such a nascent space in terms of just average education of an internet user and where they are susceptible in their knowledge of that. And so we've embarked on a number of things incremental to the online security WISE program and staying safe online in terms of campaigns and podcasts and other opportunities to really educate the general population and of course our own customers on where they may be susceptible to threats and then how the solutions pair with that to ensure that they're protected. And we're working more and more to bundle those solutions with our smart home security so that you're protected in your home, both physically and virtually, coupled with our peace of mind mobility plans and with our internet plans, so that our solutions really come with the ability to protect yourself, and you can decide what level of protection that you need.
In this series, we're talking about data and its application in the real world. To help us envision what that means, it's time for the Future Builders Challenge. In each episode, we provide our guest with a scenario and challenge them to get a bit creative. All right, Zainal, so here is your challenge. Walk us through a day in the life of your dream connected home, from wake up to nightfall. And it can incorporate technology that's already available or something that you think would be super cool down the line. What would that look like?
What a great question, Jill. And it's so fun to imagine these scenarios. And I think that right off the bat, you talked a lot about how connected we really are in our homes with respect to all of our devices and our smartphones. But as we are, and I know you're going to do a session on 5G, but as we see the advent of these new technologies come to the fore, what's going to happen is more of our connected devices are going to talk to each other, and they're going to be able to create a view of what's happening in a dynamic way. So maybe I'll give you an example. I try, I'm sure we all do, to get exercise on a regular basis, but there are some mornings where I'm much more tired than others. So imagine if your personal device that you use to track, your sleep, which is a watch, or in my case, it's a ring, or other things, is monitoring your sleep and knows how to set your alarm for giving you that optimal day when you've had the best sleep that you can, do the best workout. So it wakes you up earlier than you might normally have wanted to wake up, but it knows the day that is, the days for your optimal workout. As soon as you're up, your coffee maker knows you're going to need your coffee in a specific amount of time. You get your workout done, your kids are waking up, and they know what kind of mood mom's in. So they know if they're going to be able to tell mom about that test that they forgot to study for and how to make up for it. And so these are kind of experiences where they marry more innate aspects of what's happening in our lives and our bodies and our spirit and our mind with the capabilities that we need to have a great successful day. We already have these great solutions like Babylon by Telus Health that we talked about, or I forgot to close my garage door when I went to walk the dog, and how can I do that from my phone? But these are things that are going to personalize our experience more effectively. And we've got to, it comes back then to, this cyber protection, making sure that we're private about the things that we want to protect, and we're able to, publish the things to the right devices that are important, such as that internal alarm clock. So, I think that there's this opportunity to live, much more rich lives. We already have connectivity to our friends, our families, through multiple devices. And then how do we personalize that more? And how do we, try to think about experiences that are happening automatically for us, and learning about what our behaviors are from an AI standpoint, and then prompting us in terms of how to, have better, healthier, and more connected lives.
Yeah, no kidding. I love how technology is helping us be healthier. I know myself, I'm utilizing my watch to help me stand more often, get more exercise, track that on a day-to-day basis, track my heart rate. It is fantastic for giving you that motivation to just be healthier. And I'm so excited for what's still to come and what we'll be able to do in our homes and for our own well-being and health as we move forward. All right, so let's move to the next part of the interview. The first part was about inside the home. The next part is now beyond the home. So the impact of having a connected home can go beyond just the four walls of your house. In fact, smart cities could be considered extensions of our homes. We can use connected devices in our communities to make our world a better place. I think about, if I had a connected car and that could interact with traffic lights or traffic signs and help me cut down on my idling and commuting and things like that. So what can we learn from connected homes that can help us better our communities on the whole?
Yeah, this is another great question. And it's almost like it would be so fun to take that question to an elementary class and get them to help us think about what's in the future and what kind of use cases would be something that we could think about. I think really about the fact that every device in that we touch or see would be connected in some way. And so what can you achieve with that? So you gave some great examples, Jill, in terms of, traffic light and monitoring and things like that. And imagine how much we could achieve from an energy saving standpoint if all of our buildings and everything that we interacted with was optimized from an energy standpoint. So there are some great human and climate outcomes that can come from that. But also, how do we make better decisions around, even investments in our city? So if all of our cars were connected and we knew exactly how many times every pothole was hit in a city and we could prioritize those investments accordingly, that would be an amazing outcome again. Or being able to track even back to, what we discussed with healthcare and merging different kinds of data so that you can see what's happening with respect to how spaces are utilized and how public transport is utilized and how we make decisions about traffic management and investments in transport and parking and all of these things that would be enabled by having smart devices. And I just have to bring it back again to the point of the outstanding importance of our award-winning networks. Without an outstanding, superior network, none of these capabilities are enabled. And with that, if you think about all of these devices that then connect to the network and are providing data back and forth, that privacy and reliability, it's even more critical for our networks to be world class to support those solutions and for us to trust that we can support those solutions using our network. So I think that the opportunities are limitless. I think it's a matter of where we choose to prioritize our focus as a society, actually, and where we can achieve the best outcomes. And this is again why I think it's so critical that we work to enable a Canada that is fully connected. And how do we achieve that together through private, public, and community focus and priority?
Absolutely, Zainal. I know Telus is investing billions and billions of dollars in continuing to build out our fiber optic networks, our 5G wireless networks. And absolutely, we need that to enable all of this smart city and smart home connectivity. What are some of the innovations that you personally think are going to be the biggest game changers for all of us?
Jill, I think that the biggest innovations are the ones that are right at our fingertips already. I mean, if you look at where we are spending our money with respect to healthcare, that is such a critical area where technology can drive incredibly better outcomes at a lower cost. And we've talked about that one. But I think that this even comes down to why accessibility to networks is so critical. We can't leave any part of our population behind, whether it's because of income or geography. We have to work together to solve that. And we're a resource-based economy and have been. We need to diversify and continue to support, a very small population over a very large geography. And technology can cut through that time and distance, and technology can enable, a small organization in a remote area to be a global leading company. So, I think that investing together in ensuring that we have a connected Canada is a critical foundation to our future. And I think when we look at, bridging that socioeconomic divide and that health divide and that accessibility to education divide, none of those things are achievable without access to connectivity.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all have to take accountability, the private, public sectors, working together with government, making sure that we can all be connected, no matter where we are, urban, rural, or whatever. But you talked a lot about, social innovation, how this will help us. What does all of this mean in the context of business and making a profit?
I think that when you look at successful and really transformative economies, what you find is that there's an ecosystem. It's not just the brilliance of one idea and the capability of one company. It's the diversity of that ecosystem and how different innovations fuel each other. And so, that's why we come back to this view of connectivity being critical, and then this view of fueling innovation and creating and breaking down those barriers of accessibility and focusing on those innovative solutions that enhance our customers' needs and enhance our communities, right? And if we had, a number of organizations that were all equally rowing in that direction, that would create enormous outcomes for our country. And so that's why I think that some of the other areas that we're focused on at Telus, whether they be areas like ag tech or our pollinator and venture funds, which fuel these innovations, these are critical to ensuring that we work together. Some of these organizations, their number one opportunity is to find their first customer once they have an innovation. And so if we can help them achieve that and help develop their technology and work together, that's going to create an incredible fabric of innovators that are excited about different ideas that can bring them to life across a broad ecosystem. And we consider ourselves, from a Telus standpoint, a horizontal, right? Not a vertical, because we have this amazing opportunity to fuel all innovations, whether it's fintech or healthcare or ag tech. And so, there's just amazing opportunities on how we can advance our overall society and advance the productivity of our country if we continue to see that importance of technology and connectivity. And as you highlighted before, it's a joint accountability. And what's even better is it's a solvable problem. If we work together, it's something that we can actually achieve and something that we could put our minds to and get done for this country.
Absolutely. Technology and connectivity can help every single industry and can help make us a stronger country as we move forward through the pandemic and hopefully beyond. So thank you, Zainal, so much. You are a trailblazer in this space. And thank you to everyone for joining us today. To learn more about Telus Home Solutions, please start with a visit to telus.com/home. We hope to see you for our next episode on our 5G future on May 19th. To register, visit elevate.ca, and if you have a minute, please complete our feedback survey. Hope you have a great day, and thank you.